want to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles, fly Eagles on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? Is the mic working? Make sure everything working. We in obviously we are in a hotel right now. We are in Indianapolis. We are going live at the Indianapolis Combine. So yeah, I was able to go to the interviews this morning. Had to get things done for just getting the hotel in order. They didn't let us check in till like a certain time. It was a whole, rigmarole, which that's my new word for the day. But we got a lot of things to talk about, man. So obviously, Calijah Kancey ran out of the building today, right? Calijah Kancey apparently ran a 4.67, which is like the actual time. That was the actual time. Let me pull it up. I want to make sure. Clocked one of the fastest ones. Trying to see what the exact, because they said it was like 4.67. And it ended up being the fastest in NFL history. So, of course, I had to leave, So, shout out to I want a refund from my hotel for making me miss that. But Calijah Kancey, I've talked about him on this show a couple of times, man. Calijah Kancey is a very, very interesting prospect. 280. He's played the interior defensive line. He has very, very short arms, and nobody's afraid to tell you. Like, that is all you hear about him is that he has short arms. I'm not too worried about that. He's a productive player. He can play on the inside. He just showed you he has the speed to come off the edge. I think that this is a player that if he's not in your top 10, or not top 10, but if you're top 30, top 32, players for that first round, I really got to question your board at this point. I mean, that guy, I know it could be just a workout warrior, right? It's like you see that and you're like, oh, this is crazy. He's doing it at the combine. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that's interesting. Obviously, we talked to a lot of cornerbacks today. That was kind of the whole theme of all the interviews this morning. We had Cam Smith. We had Kaylee Ringo. Who else did we had? I just missed Eli Ricks, which I was very upset about. But we had Christian Gonzalez. We had a couple people. I'm trying to, off the top of my head, it's hard to remember everybody that I went up to because I was trying to get a little bit of information from everybody. Kaylee Ringo, I thought was a very, very intriguing person to talk to because Kaylee Ringo, we all remember, right? A couple weeks ago, I feel like he was the number one guy. Everybody was saying he's that dude. He might go number one overall, this, that, and the third. And now people are saying he might not even go in the first round. So it's crazy the juxtaposition what a week can do, right? So I asked him if he felt like he had anything to prove, and he said he didn't. He said that he felt like he was going to let his play and what happens in the combine just speak for itself. And, look, I don't know what I was really expecting him to say in that, situation. Was I really expecting him to be like, yeah, I got to prove all y'all wrong? I ain't gonna lie. I kind of thought that's where we would go with it, but he didn't. Kudos to him, but shout out to everybody that's already in the chat. If you don't know, it's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and it's Philly the podcast. And like I said, if you guys don't know, I know a lot of people are watching on Twitter. I don't see your comments if you're commenting or anything, so come on over to the YouTube side. Definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We don't bite, you know what I'm saying? Not too much, at least. Unless you say something crazy, then, you know what I'm saying, we might have to attack. But shout out to everybody in the chat. We already got 20 people in the chat. EC1 says I really like it. Yeah, so Cam Smith is the title and the picture on the thumbnail for this, and he said that I asked him how he would feel if he spoke to the Eagles, and I believe he said he has a meeting going on with them soon, so today that should be happening. But I asked him how would he feel about playing with that defense, and how does he feel like he would fit in, and he brought up Darius Slay, he brought up James Bradbury, and the quote was, that seeing those guys do their thing, it makes him really would love to be able to be a part of this. That's what he said. I would love to be a part of that. So you know, he's an interesting guy. There's another guy that was very interesting. I'm spacing on his name now. What was his name? Why am I spacing on his name right now? Too many people we were talking to. I'm gonna have to go to my own Twitter. Not Christian Gonzalez. What was his name? Obviously, we talked to Joey Porter as well, but it was somebody that already has a interview with him. Hold on, I'm going to put Garrett Williams. There we go, Garrett Williams. So Garrett Williams said that he had a meeting with the Eagles also planned today. He said that he was going to be 100% healthy come training camp from that ACL injury. That is a guy that I really feel like the Eagles could be sneaking up and trying to get. So, you know, shout out to everybody that was there. Shout out to my guy, Devin Jackson. I ended up meeting out there, works for the Philly Inquirer. He was a dope dude, man. Helped me out a lot, so I appreciate him. But this is going to be fun to watch. You know, tomorrow we're going to go back in there, and I believe it's the quarterbacks and the wide receivers that are going to be on the podium. So let me know who you guys want me to talk to, you know, wide receiver wise or quarterback wise. We'll definitely get some questions in. I'll try and get your questions in if you'd like, but it's going to be fun, man. This combine is a cool experience. You know what I'm saying? This is a cool experience. And honestly, this cool experience could not be, you know, provided. It could not happen without the help from guys like Rallyhead. So shout out to Rallyhead for sponsoring not only the trip, but these videos as well. So shout out to them. I'm going to leave their link in the description. I'll give you guys way more information about who Rallyhead is and what they do in a later date, in a later video, but you'll see some stuff of me out there on the field, rocking some of their stuff. So it's going to be really cool. They have a really, really dope product and they're doing some really cool things. So I really do appreciate all the help that they've given me throughout this, and Jan as well. So I thank everybody that sent money as well. Y'all are amazing. But let's get to these comments. I'm going to get to these comments. I'm going to stop just rambling. EC says Cam Smith could be another Asante Samuel. Cam Smith is a little bit bigger if I'm not mistaken. He's like 6 foot. I know I did a little bit of a breakdown on him. I do have notes on him. I could probably pull those up real quick. And there is some stuff that I'm holding back. And if you guys want to see that, definitely go follow AAT Birds. I am here on behalf of them. So definitely go check that out and be writing articles for them. But I want to bring up what I had about, because I did like Cam Smith. I like Cam Smith a lot. Let me try and get to I have too many notes. Like literally, you can never have too many notes, I guess. All right, there we go. So Cam Smith, 6 foot, 216. I don't think Asante Samuels was around there. I could be wrong, but sets edge well on runs, uses his arm length. He sheds defenders very well, rarely out of position. He does play a little bit flat-footed, which is a little bit, worrisome to me, but that's something you can teach him, at the next level. Doesn't really backpedal with his hips square, gets turned around a lot. He's very physical and press, which is beautiful. And he's a good tackler, hard hitter. So he's definitely a guy that I think would be interesting fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that he's a guy that Howie Roseman looks at and he salivates, right? Because you remember I'm not even going to say his name. You know who I'm talking about. You know, we got him in the second round. He was injured. We know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, no, all right. So we're going to move on. But he's going to look at him like he did him, right? He's going to look at Cam Smith and be like, maybe I can get him in the second round. That will be a steal. I think there's a lot of steals in that cornerback room, but it'll be interesting to see how. I don't know how much he's going to do as far as testing. I doubt he's going to really do much. Maybe bench press, maybe stuff like that. I doubt that he'll do anything, if I'm being honest. Roland, what's going on, man? I appreciate that $5 super chat. He said, what up, Joe? Hope all is well. Sherman Smith Schuster dropped another TikTok. I saw like little clips of it. Juju's down bad. Like, you would think he lost the Super Bowl, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Shout out to Thomas Mott. He said on, I'm giving shout outs left and right today. But shout out to Thomas, because he said on Twitter, he was like, do even Kansas City fans think it's funny? It's like, it made no sense. It made literally no sense. All right, let me get back to these comments. Appreciate that $5 super chat. What's going on, Nina? What's going on? EC says Kalijah Kancey hit a 4.78 40-yard dash, 1.641 on the 10-yard split. I know the 10-yard split, but there was, I don't know if it was true. I think I may have just, seen it mad randomly, but it said like 4.67, that it would have made it the fastest in history. I got to find that again. And I want to say it was a reliable source, and for some reason I deleted it. But we'll see. I'm going to find it. I'm definitely going to find it. I'm good. We doing good. I'm here with the wifey, Nina. You know what I'm saying? We out here in Indy. We trying to enjoy ourselves. We're probably going to head back to the stadium in the morning, probably take the night off. It was a long, long trip out here. But it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. She said hi. My girl said hi, Nina. My guy Castro, how's that combine life you having? Hey, it's a lot of fun so far. It's just the first day for me. I wish I was able to be out here for, the Howie interviews and the Nick Sirianni interviews and all that stuff. If I would have made it just a day earlier, but unfortunately, I got responsibilities. If you guys hit that subscribe, next year I'll probably be able to make it for the full thing, right? That's how it works. You guys keep supporting, and I'll be able to do more. Antonio Johnson, EC, I'm glad that you bring up Antonio Johnson. So Miles Brooks, no, not Miles Brooks. I'm spacing on a lot of people's name. I talked to a lot of people today, but he was a teammate of Antonio Johnson. I am very high on Antonio Johnson. And I basically asked him about how he felt about Antonio Johnson, and he spewed just it was a love fest. It really was a love fest. He said a lot of good things about Antonio, called him a leader, said that if he had to, give him a draft grade, he would be an A+. He really likes that guy. I really, really like Antonio Johnson. I think that he's a guy that can make the Eagles better. I think he reminds me of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, if I'm being real. Maybe not an exact replica, because there's never an exact replica, but he reminds me of him. He really does. Jordan Battle going to be with CG or Johnson, one of them. I wouldn't mind. I would rather Chauncey Gardner-Johnson be with Antonio Johnson. I think that would be kind of fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. They both are just vicious. I just feel like they both want to hit so bad. So it could be a lot of fun to watch, but it could be, trash to watch. What's going on in the Philly special? Let's get you a wrench. What's going on, Josh? I appreciate you coming through, bro. I appreciate you. If y'all not subscribed to the Philly special show, definitely go check him out, man. He's putting out some great content. I love the editing. I love the whole feel to it, man. He really puts work in. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. King DV, what's going on? What's going on? I feel like we getting Jalen Carter at 10. He's back at the combine. He got a $4,000 bail. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I heard a lot of people saying a lot of things about Jalen Carter, and not good things. One thing I did notice, right, and one thing that was cool is I got to meet, Deuce Staley. That was really, really, that was really, really dope. I saw Fran Duffy, but he was busy. So Fran, if you're watching this, I'll say hi tomorrow, I promise. But he was busy, so I didn't want to bother him. But you hear a lot of things. You hear a lot of people talk. And I'm not going to say, who told me these things, but one thing that someone said to me was, the Jalen Carter thing, that they don't think that he's going to be drafted in the first round, that he could drop that far. And then another one is that the Eagles might be looking at offensive linemen in that first round, which kind of surprised me. I'm not going to lie. It kind of surprised me. If you look at their visits so far, it's been a lot of defensive linemen. A couple cornerbacks, like I said, were going to be today. I want to say it was Cam Smith. I want to say it was Garrett Williams were the two. I could be missing one. Christian Gonzalez, I don't believe he said he talked to the Eagles. He did say that he talked to a lot of teams, but he didn't specify any teams. He just said that he talked to a lot. Christian Gonzalez also said that when we asked him about, if he thought his speed was going to surprise some people, he kind of laughed and said, it's going to be fast. It's going to be fast. So some of these guys got something to prove. I'm excited to see what happens. But yeah, a lot of these people aren't really giving away too much. One thing I found, and I know this is kind of all over the place, today was me kind of getting my bearings. So I try to get as much information as I could and try to get to know my way around the stadium and around, the convention center. But one thing I found kind of funny was there's teams, the Falcons in specific, and I know another team, I can't remember who exactly it was, but I heard another team did it as well. The Falcons were playing basketball with their prospects, right? And let it be Nick Sirianni, right? My girl said it good, though. She was like, he was the first to do it, so they're going to hate on him until they realize that it worked. But, yeah, they're playing basketball with their prospects. I believe they played it with Cam. I think it was Cam that said that. But either way, they're playing basketball with their prospects. And then on top of that, there's another team that is playing darts with their prospects. So, yeah, I don't want to hear nobody talk about my coach anymore. Ever again. Don't ever talk about my coach. You said my screen is terrible? How is my screen terrible? Is it? I don't know. It doesn't look like it on my end. EC, what do you mean by my screen's terrible? King DV Sports says, what's good? Hope you and your family have a safe trip. I appreciate that. Adam Schefter per Next Gen Stats has Canty at 46740. There we go. I knew it was like a reliable person that I could, I couldn't find it though. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I pray we don't draft O-line in the first round. I don't want to either. Oh, you guys was acting a little nervous. Yeah, I don't want to get an O-lineman either. I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, if they do, like, you're going to get the best O-lineman. Like, because the names that got brought up, and like I said, this is not like, it's not going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not saying that it is, or this was like, Howie Roseman telling me this. This was another reporter that we were talking about the Eagles, and this kind of came up. And he brought up names like Paris Johnson, and so I'm not going to try and say Peter's name, but you guys know who I'm talking about, the other offensive lineman. But he brought up those names and said if they dropped at 10, if they were there at 10, or maybe even at 30, if one of those guys that they really like, John Michael Schmidt I've brought up, who else did I bring up? Mock from North Dakota State, excuse me. He's a guy that can play all 5 positions. There's guys that I can see them doing it at 30. At 10, something has to change, and that's kind of what we were talking about a lot today too, is like something has to change with the Eagles because there's so many good cornerbacks, right? There's not many good defensive linemen when you look at like top 10 worthy. There's like 3 or 4 guys that I would be okay at the cornerback position with the Eagles taking them at, 10. When you look at the defensive line, I mean, I know Jalen Carter now is a hot name because of that's just not, I don't know. That's something I would want my team to stay away from if I'm being 100% honest. And I'm not saying he's a terrible person. We all make mistakes. Everybody does, things that they regret. But at the end of the day, that's just not what we need right now. Like, Jalen Carter is an amazing player. And it hurts to say that, but I don't want to see my team put themselves in that position. What's the biggest surprise at the combine so far? It's a good question. It's early. It's really early. Obviously, today's like the first day that they even worked out. Today was also the first day that we had access to them as far as like interviews. I would say the biggest surprise on the Eagles front is the lack of connection with those top cornerbacks that our front office has had. Like I said, it was only 2 guys that I remember that saying that they actually talked to the Eagles. Christian Gonzalez didn't say that he did or he didn't. Kaylee Ringo, I believe, said that he didn't talk to them. Who else was there? There was Joey Porter Jr. was a big one that I put on Twitter, and everybody was kind of up in arms that they haven't even spoke to him. The Dallas Cowboys did end up speaking to Joey Porter Jr. So that's probably my biggest surprise right now, is just like the lack of, like, the who we are reaching out to, because we are talking to defensive linemen. I think we did talk to Brian Young. And Byron Young is a guy that I had actually mocked to us at like the 2nd or 3rd round. So, they're not talking to bad players. It's just kind of surprising they're not talking to the top cornerbacks, because I feel like that's a position they need to get better at. But maybe they don't. Thanks, man. You're welcome, Justice. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Thank you. So Jalen Carter drops to maybe the 2nd or 3rd round. Would you trade up to get him, Joe? Raheem, I'm going to give you a moderator because you asked a tough question as nicely as you can. I would be stupid. Talent-wise, I would be stupid to say no. I mean, talent-wise, if he dropped to number 10, I would be stupid to say what I'm saying, But do you really want that headache? Do you know, there's other players. I really like Brian Brisset. He had a really good 40 excuse me. He had a really good 40-yard dash. But a lot of people are telling me that he's his knee is washed. He's done. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. So I mean, there's other options. I like Brian Brisset. Kalijah Cansey is a very, very intriguing prospect. Maybe not at 10. And I said this, I've liked Kalijah Cansey since before. And you can look at, any show I've done talking about drafts or anything. I always find a way about bringing up Kalijah Cansey. But I've liked him since before the Super Bowl. I'm going to be 100% honest. I just thought he was a really, really fun kid to watch. And he offered so much versatility. He's like a better version of Milton Williams, in my opinion. So, take that as it is. I don't know what that would mean to you, but I think there's other options. I really do. And NFL ref Jerome Boger is retiring from officiating after 19 years. Congratulations to him. That's dope. That's a long time. Jordan Battle says Devontae Smith took him in when got to Alabama and made him a better player. That's dope. Yeah, who was it that plays for Mississippi State? Is it Emmanuel or Eli? I think it's Emmanuel, right? Yeah, Emmanuel Forbes. Emmanuel Forbes was asked about Darius Slay. Obviously, Darius Slay went to the same school, and he said he looks up to him. He said a lot of these cornerbacks seem like they want to play for the Eagles. That was kind of the feel I got every time I asked somebody, like, have you talked to the Eagles? How would you feel playing with them? Even Joey Porter said, he didn't talk to the Eagles, but he likes Philly. He thinks that it's a dope city, and he would love to play there. So, Cowboys fans took it as something totally different, but it is what it is. They, thank you for the clicks, Cowboys fans. I guess that's all I can really say. Where we at? I'm sorry if I miss your comment, guys. Some teams talk to different guys they're probably not drafting. Yeah, I never really understood the point in that, if I'm being honest. Like, I get trying to, like, maybe play a mind game, but you need all the information you can get, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, you want to know everything you can about a player. If a player is not there, try at 10, trade back, get more picks. You need players since free agency isn't going to be impact this year. You don't need 2 number 1, and Eagles don't draft 2 number 1s. I think that I agree that if you're able to drop back and get more assets, even Howie Roseman said himself at the combine that this year is going to really be predicated on what they do in the draft. The draft is really going to be important for them to hit to, kind of replenish all the talent that we've lost, especially on that defensive side. So it's no secret. It is no secret how important this draft is. But when you look at this draft, and I implore you to go watch the video I did about, what I asked about Daniel Jeremiah, because he said, I asked him, what was the value of that pick? And long story short, there might not be any. If you're at that 10 pick and all the quarterbacks are gone, there might not be no value. What are they gonna drop? What are they gonna come up for? Maybe a position that you want. If all 4 quarterbacks go, you don't really have that ammo at number 10. So at number 10, if a quarterback drops, then yes, it changes everything. Now you have a little bit of ammo. But I think that 30th pick has more trade value right now in the way of people actually calling the Eagles and giving them a fair offer for it than the 10. But we'll see what happens. Well, it really does predicate all on quarterbacks. So we'll definitely see what happens. If he drops to 10, I'm taking Carter. I mean, you're going to have to pay his bail, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I shouldn't say that. But who has the Eagles spoke with at the combine? I can get you the list. Give me a second. I know it's been a lot of people that probably you guys don't really care about. Like I know off the top of my head it was Byron Young was one of them, because I was very excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, Luke Van Ness is his measurables, man. That's another guy I wanted to see today, and I'm mad that I didn't. I totally forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta find that list. If anybody knows the list of people that we've been talking to, thought I screenshot it. Yeah, if anybody knows that list, just let me know in the comments. Emmanuel Forbes is my guy. I like him a lot. I want Joey Porter at 10 and an edge rusher at 30. I don't know what edge rusher you're getting at 30, if I'm being real. Like, there's a couple. I know Will McDonald, I think, out of Iowa is a guy that people are kind of saying is a sleeper pick. Maybe even a Kalijah Cansey is a guy you pick up at 30. I don't know how high or low he's going to go. Devin Akane is the A&M back. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's a little bit small. People said that his comp was Darren Sproles. So, I mean, you know, that's cute and everything. But I don't know. You know, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing for him to be Darren Sproles, right? Joe, find a running mate for Dean is important. The linebackers on the roster now isn't cutting it. That's very true. That's very true. But the Eagles are going to – we know what the Eagles are going to do. We know what the Eagles are going to do. Nolan Smith at 30. Nolan Smith is a dog, and he's out there killing it right now. So it's definitely a possibility. It is definitely a possibility. I mean, he just had a 40-foot, like a 41.5-inch jump. He has a 41.5-inch vertical. I mean, some of these guys are performing crazy. Eagles fan focus on one player each draft this year. It's Jalen Carter. No other prospects matter to them. You think so? I don't feel that way. I feel like I won't say I don't feel that way. I think if I'm the Eagles, I'm looking at this draft as a really good opportunity to replenish some of your older veterans that now are gone. I mean, you can get a very good defensive tackle. If Jalen Carter falls to you at 10 and you want to, do that, then awesome. That's what's up. And you got yourself probably the best player in this draft. But if not, you can still go with Brian Bresee. I feel comfortable with him. I feel comfortable with a Tyree Wilson. I feel comfortable with a Miles Murphy. I feel comfortable with anybody that our Eagles pick, usually in the trenches, in that top 10 area, top 15. I know Derek Barnett, you can have whatever. I mean, he was a decent player, but not a top 15 player. But outside of that, we've done pretty well when it comes to getting defensive and offensive linemen. Gainwell, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. It's going to be interesting to see how these running backs perform. I'm definitely going to talk to him because I want to know what they would feel like playing with a guy like Jalen. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what that would be like. What is it? And especially with the change in the value of, the running back position, like, does that add an incentive to you as a running back? Because people are going to look at you and say, oh, he's only that great because he has, Jalen Hurts, or I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. This is going to be a really good draft. Like, people are really thinking, oh, it's this guy, it's that guy. There's a lot of good depth in this draft. Like, there really is. So don't sleep on this draft, y'all. Eagles just held a formal meeting with Georgia. Kaylee Ringo, good stuff. They need to. Kaylee Ringo, but see, he's another one. This is what's scaring me. All right, Kaylee Ringo, 3 weeks ago, yes, we were all talking about how he could be the number one guy, right? But that's no longer the case. Why aren't you talking to? I want to know that once I see that they talk to Christian Gonzalez, I'll be cool. I want to see Kendre Miller's 40 time. I want to see Devin Arcane's 40 time, and I want to see Bajan's 40 time. If they're similar, I take everything I said about taking Bajan Robinson in the first round away. I take it all back. Man, if we use that 30 pick to move up to get Bajan, I'd freak out. I'm not as big a Gainwell as everyone else. Yeah, I don't think he could be a 3-down guy. I mean, I could be wrong about that, though. I'm not saying he's not. I don't think he can. Gervin Dexter from Florida? Yes, bro. Yes. EC1 says Eagles prospect combine meeting tracker Isaiah. Thank you. Isaiah Folsky. That's interesting. He's a guy you can get at 30 for that edge position. Brandon Joseph, safety of Notre Dame. Antonio Johnson, God is good. God is good. I really want him so bad. Byron Young, like I said, and Osiris Torrance. Okay. And Gervin Dexter. Okay. I'm cool with that. And now we're seeing that Kaylee Ringo adds to that list. Do you like Gonzalez over Witherspoon? Just curious. I do. I'm not going to lie. I do. Like, it's not like a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? I understand why everybody has Witherspoon as their number one guy. I just think, like, Gonzalez has a little bit of swag to him. Like, he needs to unleash it. Like, he hasn't fully unleashed yet. I don't feel like he has fully morphed into what he's going to become. The ceiling with him still has not been touched. With Witherspoon, I think he can still get better. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be like, you know, like, oh my God, I didn't think this guy was going to be this good. I think we know what Witherspoon can be in the league. No way you take a running back first round, they get injured too much. This is my thinking, okay? If you are a playoff team, if you're a team that can get pushed over the hump with one, you know, crazy player added to your team and it being at the running back position, excuse me. I mean, that's the best way of doing it is you get 5, technically 6 years of a pretty decent contract, right? Because the franchise tag isn't really that high on running backs. So if you're saying to yourself, look, I want Bijan Robinson for his prime, I mean, you might as well have it on a rookie deal as well, right? I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. And history shows us that that's not really the NFL's way of thinking, but this could be the year that they do. This could definitely be the year that they start thinking like that. Joe Castro, do what you do. I can't wait. I promise you I ain't gonna stop, brother. I appreciate you. Miles Murphy at 10 would be nice. I wouldn't be mad. I agree. Also think Pac-12 guys get overlooked. Can't wait to see Gonzalez measurables. Yeah, where did he go before that? Was it college? What was it? Where was it? Oregon? He was in Oregon. Where was he before that? I'm spacing out a lot. You could tell I had a 15-hour drive here, right? And I just went right to the combine. This is how much I love y'all. Understand that, okay? And honestly, y'all should thank my girlfriend because she had work to do, so she was like, you can go live and, you know what I'm saying, go kill some time. But realistically, y'all know I love y'all. Colorado. I knew it was that's what was in my head, but I was like, no, it's not Colorado. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see how he reacts to the league. I'm not one of those people that sits there and be like, oh, well, remember this guy that played at, in the Pac-12. Like, I'm not that type of dude. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's not how life works. Like, every player is different. Every prospect is different. And honestly, I didn't get to sit down and talk with Christian Gonzalez and, have a formal interview with him like the Eagles should be doing. But I did get to speak to him enough, and I feel like I'm a very good judge of character. I can tell when someone's respectful or just naturally a good person. And it felt like that. It was the thank yous. It was the yes, sir. It was the, the smile. It was the happiness. It was the excitedness. It was like seeing a young man up there excited to prove what he is. And yeah, I love that. I love that. I absolutely love that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 40 people in the chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. If you're watching on Twitter, I appreciate everybody that's been joining the Twitter family as well. You guys are the real MVPs. But nah, yeah, Josh says she the real MVP. She know it. She know. I don't know why. Look, I don't know how I got so lucky to get a girl that's like down to come with me to the combine and have my back through all this. You know what I'm saying? When you get them, you hold on to them. She ain't going nowhere. Help me. She said help her. Oh, my God. We're getting kicked out of this hotel. That's what's happening. The edge rushers are running now, a lot of speed. Yeah. I have it on a simulcast. I'm trying to watch and do this at the same time. Gibbs is a good backup. I think Gibbs could be a starter in this league. Jamar Gibbs, I definitely think he could be a starter in this league. Kenny McIntosh reminds me of Kamara. That's an interesting. Shout out to Joe and his girl. Shout out to you, D. What's going on, Jay? Let me get you a moderator. Show enough. I like Foskey. Yeah, I like him too. That's an interesting name. I didn't know that they spoke to him. he's definitely somebody you can see getting picked up at that 30 spot. Maybe even if they move up a little bit or they move down from number 10, that would be an interesting person. Witherspoon's a good player. Witherspoon's definitely a good player. Deep running back draft this year, definitely. Yeah, when we spoke to Daniel Jeremiah, he said 13 running backs. 13 running backs he had with a round 3 grade or higher. And he said that those 13 running backs he felt could be, day one contributors / starters. So, that's a high mark right there. Let's get it, Bird Gang. Mr. Eagles fan. All right, you get a moderator too. It's all love. It's all love. I actually watch college highlights, not football, not just highlights. You talking to me? You talking to me? I don't think you're talking to somebody else. But if you're talking to me, I feel you. But either way. But yeah, I love this draft. I really do. I really do love this draft. I think that this is very well set up for the Eagles to go ahead and fill some spots that they need to fill. And not only that, I've said this before, the Eagles, if they can get some more picks, whether it be through players, whether it be through their own picks right now, we got some extra picks next year. Maybe they start mortgaging some of those for some picks this year. I like what you can get in the mid rounds. I like what you can get in the 4th, 5th round. So, if I'm the Eagles, I'm having fun this draft. He said, give him back his wrench. What's going on, Herbert? What's going on? It doesn't look like drop-off is major in the first round from 5 to 32. I'm definitely willing to trade back. Then I would go heavy in the 2nd or 3rd. That's very, very true. That is very, very true. I would say maybe 1 through 8, depending on who you're really looking at. But because if you look at a guy like a Van S, Tyler Van S, I think there is a drop off after him. I think after Tyree, after Van Ness, after Miles Murphy, I think there's a drop off. Jalen Carter, Brian Brisset, I think they're in a different category. So I would say 7 or 8 players, right? And then you got your quarterbacks. So, I don't think any of the quarterbacks are top 10 players in this draft, if I'm being honest. But I could be hating. I'd be hating a lot. So. Bro, I see you got that good Temptations hair, bro. That good 5 heart. Yeah, that's it. Had to do it. Yeah, I am being loud in the hotel. It is what it is. My bad. What's going on, Scoob? What's going on? Mon says, I'm definitely drafting a running back 3rd, 4th round. Spears, Bigsby, Evans, Tucker. I like Tucker. Brown, and I mean, Zach Charbonnet is a really good player. Jamar Gibbs is a guy that could possibly go in the 2nd round. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Devin Akane is a guy that, most likely goes 2nd or 3rd round. I just don't like his size. There's definitely guys. Just ran a 4.5 40 after jumping 10. Oof. I thought somebody was knocking on the door. I ain't even gonna lie. My girl made me scared of that. I love to see the Eagles draft Bijan. If he drops to 30, I wouldn't be surprised. But I just don't think they will. Tank Bigsby from Auburn. He's a dog. There's a lot of good running backs. There's a lot of good tight ends, too. Joe got that tease. Just cool boy. Look, I make him woo, woo, woo. You feel me? Let me stop. My girlfriend go jumping. Need to grab Christian Gonzalez. Guy's a ball hawk. Yeah, that's one thing that he even said I'm glad you bring that up. He said that today at his interview. He said that he was proud that he was able to prove that this year that, people said when he left, Colorado. I don't know why I want to keep saying Oregon. He's at Oregon. That's where he graduated. But when he left Colorado, that was the major knock on him is that he wasn't necessarily the ball hawk. And he felt like he proved that this year. So kudos to him. What do you think about Felix Uzmo in the 2nd round? Give me a day or two. I'll come back to you on that. I would have to really look into that. I'm going to be real with you. There's a lot of people that I've looked up, and there's a lot of people that I still haven't. I don't want to give you an answer just off the small bit that I do know. Tyreek Stevens, cornerback from the U6. Tyreek Stevens, he was out there as well. I didn't get to interview him. Unfortunately, he was going at the same time as Christian Gonzalez and a couple others, so I wasn't able to get him. But he's definitely a dog. Jalen Carter official measurements. Call me a hater and call me an idiot. It's fine. I don't really want to deal with that. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna just go away. Like, the fact that he was at the scouting combine was very, very surprising to me, to be honest with you. Then I'm glad it's part of me is like, I'm happy that he was able to. I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about it. I'm just gonna stop talking about him and we'll just see what happens there. But you hear Nolan Smith interview. He sounds just like Jalen. I wasn't there. No, I was not there. It's a very crazy atmosphere. It's a very crazy atmosphere. Today was like obviously my first time ever being credentialed at one of these events. So it was really just getting my bearings. I was very proud of how I was able to get what I did get. Like I said, there was some people out there looking out, helping me out, giving me tips and stuff like that, showing me where to go. So tomorrow we're going to get a really, really good a feel of everything, because now I know where I'm supposed to be. Are you going to be at the draft? We'll see. God willing, we will see. It's individually, credentialed. So, you have to apply to it. So we'll see if my application gets accepted. Excited to see Lucas Van Ness run. Me too. I want to be the best I can be, and you can't do that if you don't put the work in. I agree. Is that what he said? They don't need a running back in the first round. Trey Sermon is under contract, and he's a former player that played with Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's an option. It didn't seem like they were really, too eager to put him out there that past year. So, I mean, I was saying all year, where the heck is he? But, guys, we're at 50 people on the YouTube side, and we have 31 likes. If you guys could just take 1 second and hit that like button for me, I would really, really appreciate that. Just, shakes up the algorithm. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you guys aren't subscribed. If you're watching anywhere other than Facebook, other than YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Twitter, wherever you are, come on over to the YouTube side. This is where you can get a part of the conversation if you got any questions. And also, we are doing JJAANN every day. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to be doing 2 of them. I'm going to be doing one right after the interviews and right before the combine. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to ask any questions. I'm not going to leak as much as I did today on Twitter and everything. So there's going to be some things that I definitely hold back. And if you want to hear that, definitely come on down to JJAANN. And, the link will be in the description and everything good like that. Hit it like DB hit those QBs. You heard me? Definitely need a linebacker. Not sure on the talent level. Pretty good tacklers. If I hear Carter and Bichon name again, I'm a flip. I don't think either one of them are going to happen. We'll see what happens. If Carter and the top cornerback are on the board, I think Howie trades back. Yeah, but who do you trade back to? We all say, Howie's going to trade back, but it takes 2 to trade back. I asked a lot of people, you guys got to go check some of the other draft stuff it's very tough to just say they're going to trade, because who's going to trade with them? The Saints, the Packers, who's really going to trade with them? I don't know if there's really a partner out there that makes sense for both sides. Is my music on? Has my music been off this whole time? Damn it, y'all ain't even tell me nothing. I thought we was cool. Y'all ain't even tell me my music was off. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I thought we was cool. Van Ness 464. That is crazy. Why trade the pick 10? You can get a premium player there. I'm confused with that logic. My thing is, it depends on who's there. It really depends on who's there, what you're getting in that trade. Because, if you're looking at a Brian Brisset, or if you're looking at a Miles Murphy, and there's Lucas Van Ness on there, and there's other guys that you can grab, then maybe it does make sense. It really depends on who's there. It's not so cut and dry for me. I do think pick 30 is more logical, more probable. I won't say logical. It's more probable that they'll trade that one because I think there'll be more suitors for that pick. But should they? If you get to 30 and you can get a running back that you feel is going to be your starter for the next 5 years, I don't know if it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know. It's a really, really tough decision to make. If we had 9 picks, then I'd be okay with Bijan in the first. However, we don't have 9 picks. Yeah, we got 6, right? We're going to have to make tough decisions. I mean, you're not going to get everything. And that's the thing I've been kind of trying to show with these mock drafts. Like, there's a million ways that this Eagles team can go, you know? So I'm just trying to learn about everybody because at the end of the day, there's going to be people that were like, I did not think the Eagles were going to get that guy. $30 and not much comp, trading from 10 to 13, 14. I mean, but who's at 10 and 13? Who's at 13, 14? The closest team that I can think of that would actually trade with us would probably be the Packers. Because, I mean, they need a quarterback if Aaron Rodgers is gone, right? So if a quarterback drops to 10, I can see them wanting to move up. Let me see who's at. So Tennessee ain't moving up 1 pick. The Texans at number 12. I mean, would they want to have 2 top 10 picks? I don't know. Maybe. The Jets at 13. Maybe. I guess. I mean, what would the Jets move up for? A player we probably wanted because I don't think they're gonna. Maybe a quarterback. But it sounds like they're all in on an Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that we would need. I don't know. I don't really see anybody outside of Green Bay. Maybe New England says they want, but I doubt that. Washington, do you want to move back to 16 to give it to Washington? Do you want to move back to 17? Do you want to move back to 8? I don't know. I don't really see a pick here where I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I really don't see it right now. The Rams, where are the Rams picking? Do the Rams even have a pick in the first round? I don't think they have a first round pick for like the next 20 years. Yeah, the Rams had the 6th pick, and that goes to Detroit. Yeah, Nolan Smith is looking good, man. Nolan Smith is looking good. We only have 5 picks. We're not staying at that number. Do we have 5? I thought we had 6. We have 4 in the first 100 picks, and then we have 2 7th-round picks. Am I bugging? Am I wrong about that second 7th-round pick? Because people keep telling me we only have 5. I agree. Show enough. It depends on it all depends on how the quarterbacks fall. I'm not moving back to 36 from 10. You're talking about from number 30. Okay, yeah, I could rock with that, but I am definitely not moving back from. Nah, that's not happening. Yeah, no, we only have 6. 2. That's 6 picks, show enough. That's 6 picks. I was like, hold on, is my math messed up right now? Hold on, let me get into the screen. My bad. I ain't even in the picture frame. I'm way too comfortable right now. I mean, from 30. All right, yeah. No, I would do that. 6 picks, but I guess we could count the 7th rounders as a half a pick. Yeah, that's 2 half picks. Go Cowboys. Bad Monkey had to come in here and look dumb. Ain't nobody in here talking about the Cowboys. We ain't talking about the Cowboys once. That 30th pick is very valuable for other teams. I agree. And it could be very valuable for the Eagles. If Bijan Robinson is there, he is getting picked there. Because no matter how much we say the value of the running back, it makes sense to lock down a premier running back. If you know he's going to be that guy, right? You know that you're going to get 5-6 years of his prime, career at a very cheap rate. It makes sense in my opinion. It just makes sense, but you got to be a good team. If you're a bad team, then it doesn't make sense. Like when the Giants picked Saquon Barkley, it didn't make sense because you were a bad team, right? So you're not really getting the best of him because you didn't have an offensive line. You didn't have, so like the Eagles, it makes sense. Like you have everything. You're adding to an arsenal that you already, that is already established. So Bajan's going to your boys. Hey, baby, maybe he will. Maybe he will. And maybe we don't care. But either way, man, I am about to get out of here. I appreciate everybody that has been showing so much love. This has been already an incredible experience, and we just got out here. So tomorrow, like I said, 12:30, I will be live, or 12 o'clock, excuse me. I will be live till 12:30 on JJAANN. The links are all in the community post, so definitely come join. It's on my Twitter page as well, so definitely come join that. That's a lot of fun. Ask me any questions you want. It's like a live call-in show. It would be really cool to have you guys all there. I'm going to try and go live as much as possible. So it might be from the phone while I'm there. It might be from my laptop while I'm there, because I did find their media workroom, so I'm definitely going to be working in that room. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate all y'all. I really do appreciate all y'all. So other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. I don't think I'm supposed to yell in a hotel, right? But peace!
Everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get JJAANN this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the hand dog.